Are you looking for a place?
That creates lifelong friendships.
A place that feels like home.
A place that drives you to new opportunities.
That teaches you skills to improve.
A place that sets the standard.
That challenges you to be better every day.
A place full of opportunity.
We are that place. We are Itawamba Community College, and you belong here.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
Good afternoon and roll Tribe, ICC fans, and welcome to another edition of the ICC Hour here on Super Talk Mississippi, 101.9 FM. As always, the ICC Hour is being brought to you by our friends over at Renaissance Bank. They are the bank that understands you. You can find out why by visiting renaissancebank.com. Well, we're going to continue to look at our spring sports this season, and now we're going to talk about tennis. And got our tennis coaches in here, and we'll let you both introduce yourselves. And let's go ladies first.
I'm the assistant coach, Maggie Green. This is my first year, so very excited about that. Always fun to be with Coach Metz. I played for ICC a couple years ago and knew Coach Metz a few years before then, so we have a pretty good team going.
Pretty impressive that if you play for Coach Metz, you come back and coach with Coach Metz. No, I'm kidding. Coach, go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, I'm Michael Metz. Been here, it's been 9 years now as the head men's and women's coach at ICC. So,
all right, so let's just talk about it. And we'll talk about this first. Men's and women's program at the same time. Tennis, now granted you don't have 45 players, but you still have a good many players to keep up with. Just talk about the unique challenges that come with coaching, or you two both together coaching two different teams.
Yeah, there's several challenges and things that make it unique in our conference. One, we have usually the higher part of the lineup are full of out-of-staters or international spots, and then the second half of the team being Mississippi kids. So, and what makes that unique is that there's a little bit of a spreading around of the levels, and then you have some that have ambitions to go to a 4-year school. That's kind of what they've been dreaming about since they were little. And then you have some that want to compete at the highest level of junior college, but then they're moving on to their careers. So, when you're doing developmental plans and goals for those people, you have to be a little bit different for each dynamic, each group. So.
And Maggie, you can kind of look at it from a unique perspective as well. You played in the system, and now you're coaching in the system. How are you able to bring that experience as a player to the players now as a coach?
Yeah, I think it's been really cool to relate to the players because I know that feeling of playing at a higher level than being at a high school, what goes on mentally, physically. Back when I was playing, we only had one international girl on the team. And so, I was taking that spot, playing with her, playing number 2. And so that, we've got 3 international girls, the rest are Mississippi kids. It's difficult for them to be comfortable with that because, they either feel like they're not good enough or they're scared that they won't think they're good enough or just that bonding of a team relationship. So being able to have that experience, being able to relate to them has been, I think, pretty awesome to see how they've been able to come together and, how to help each one develop their game in a way that is unique to them, but also keep in mind where they're at and where the other girls are at.
I got you. And Coach, another good thing for you this year, you have an assistant to help. I know previous years you've kind of just been flying solo, except for technically Coach Paul Johnson once upon a time wrote me down as an assistant coach when we went to one of the national
I've heard
tournaments.
about that.
So I don't know if the NJCAA still recognizes me as an assistant coach. If they do, good Lord, it's the worst assistant coach
Yeah,
ever.
we need to look at the archives and see
We do,
if
yeah.
you're in there, if there's any documentation.
But just talk about just the breath of fresh air to have someone, new set of eyes, new set of ideas to collaborate with to help the team as well.
Yeah, I was on the phone with a legendary coach that used to coach at Kentucky, and then my former coach at Mississippi State, and I remember having that conversation, and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm coaching the men and women." And he said, "Do you have an assistant?" And I said, "No." And he said, "You're not going to be able to do that for very long because you're gonna wear yourself out. It's a lot of hats to fill." And Maggie has been such a blessing because she's organized, she's motivated, she has a love for ICC. So this is not just a job for her. This is a program that she wants to see win and be successful. So she puts her heart into everything she does. I've never been Superman in the office, and she's very organized and really helps fill that gap. But also being a great player and having won multiple state championships at New Albany. They've got a great program over there. She's not just helping in the office. She's helping probably even more on the court as well. So that allows us to get a little bit more specific with our programming and our practices because I've got somebody else that can help me run it. So it's invaluable.
We're talking about ICC tennis this afternoon here on the ICC Hour. New facility. Really nice facility as well. Of course, Maggie, again, you can kind of talk about this, the then and now. And, of course, Coach, you can too. But you've got your locker rooms now next to the field, training room next to the, I should say, field courts.
Yep.
In that sense. So that's really, really going to give you an edge when it comes to competing, not having to worry about, dressing in the DEC or in their rooms. Now you've got that central location you can go to. And there's also a big boost in recruiting.
Absolutely. And, you want your facility to feel like home, and the courts have always felt like home. But when you have an actual place to change, shower, televisions in there, I've already seen the way that the players almost treat it like their hangout, when we're not out at practice. They like to sit in there and they're stringing their rackets and watching YouTube TV and, spending time together. So it is a big recruiting tool. It's state of the art. It's nicer than anything I ever had as a player or coach at other previous stops. So it has helped us a lot. And being able to just send like a quick video out to recruits to show them, I think a lot of the recruiting agents are blown away to see a junior college having facilities that nice.
And Maggie, you, again, former player, now coach, from the player's perspective, how does that really help them, or from your perspective as a former player?
Yeah, for sure. Before they were getting ready in their dorms, with their roommate or by themselves. And so having that place to go to before really helps, one, team bonding, but also like it gets the nerves out. You have all your team together to, get ready, have the music going. It just makes it a better pre-match environment. I remember Coach sent me the mock-ups of the photos. It was probably COVID year.
Yeah.
And I was done playing by then. And so that was probably a big reason that I wanted to come be your assistant coach. I wanted a taste of the locker rooms, but no, it's been great. Really, really awesome.
Yeah, we've had a lot of former players chiming in saying, "Why didn't y'all have that when I was here?"
So there's like, hey, come back to a match.
That's right.
Come enjoy it now. So this may be a dumb question, and I'm known for dumb questions. So in a match, say, obviously doubles are going on. You're waiting for your, wait for that to break up. Are they allowed to go to hang out in the locker rooms to kind of, if it's an extremely hot day? Is that allowed? Is it a frowned upon? Is it a gentleman's agreement not to do it, or what?
Well, that's a good question. That's something that we'll have to work through because this is our first year doing it. In the past, we had our 10 out there that they could be under, but I would say most likely we would want them to stay there and cheer for their teammates. I'm not one of those coaches, though. I know there's a lot of coaches. There's nothing wrong with that they love for them to stand along the fence and do that. But I've kind of had the philosophy of I want to cheer for your teammates, but you help ICC out by resting, hydrating, getting off your feet, and getting ready to take care of your court, and if you're spending so much energy, cheering for the other courts too much, standing out in the sun, you can kind of hurt us. So it's a balance. I think we would probably let them go into the locker room some to cool off, but we do want them to be out there to support their teammates as well.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
When injury knocks you out, Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. We will get you back.
Enjoy.
Stuffed crust, buttery garlic spread. Little Caesars really stepped it up with their stuffed crazy crust.
They really jazzed it up. Yeah!
They really plussed this crust up.
They really dolled it up.
Everyone out my house. How did y'all even get in here?
The housekeeper gave me a key.
Order stuffed crazy crust for $9.49 and get your game day delivered with Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
They say Diet Coke is a mom's drink. Well, you copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music. Now, copy her drink. Drink what your mama gave you.
Hey, honey, could you help me with this? Today tastes like staying in. And it never tasted this good.
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
We're going to continue our conversation here about ICC tennis. Coach Metz, Coach Green here on the ICC Hour. So we talked about the facility, talked about kind of just the start of the season. Now we're going to talk about the start of the season. How excited are y'all to get the season started and get it rolling? I know started with Blue Mountain, and then before you go, we'll be in the heart of conference play. But go ahead and just talk about the start of the season.
Yeah, I'm trying my best to stay one day at a time right now because I'm trying to contain the excitement. Just because I told my team that the truth is that you never know what's going to happen in a season, but on paper, we're coming off of finishing in the finals last year, finishing runner-up. Defeating Gulf Coast and losing to Jones, and I think we've brought just about everybody back on the men's side. We did lose Tasso Moreira, who was, should have been All-American last year. He had a great run at the national tournament, so he's going to be hard to replace. But as far as depth, I think this might be the deepest team that I've ever had. We have a few nicks from over the holidays, and so we're trying to make sure everybody's healed up. But I feel like if we stay healthy, that this team has a chance to be really, really special. And the women's team last year, we were 5th seeded going into the tournament. We upset the 4 seed. That was a great thing for us because we had one of our best players recovering from meniscus tear surgery, Raisa Dominguez. She is 100% healthy now, strong, hitting the ball bigger than she ever has. We've got a lot of depth on the women's side and a lot of experience, so I think that they're going to have a great chance to have a good season as well. So we're excited.
Of course, it's just you in soccer that really do more of the international style, and we can kind of talk about this, break away from the season for a moment. How do you find your international players? I know you can't just you can't borrow the company jet and fly overseas and go watch them play, but it's very unique on how you find these players from other countries.
That's right. I have some teammates who coach in Division I now. We were discussing that the other day about, what do you guys do for recruiting? And obviously major Division I programs have the capability to fly to Junior Wimbledon, Junior U.S. Open, but I was also it was interesting to see that they also do a lot of the things that we do, which is there's recruiting agencies that these kids pay thousands of dollars to help them find schools. So they put together kind of a portfolio, blast the emails out to everybody, kind of indicating what their budget is, what their level is. And then if we both express mutual interest, we set up a WhatsApp meeting. That's usually the best way we do it, or Skype. And I like to do it several times and meet the parents as well, so that we can get a feel for, is this a good kid? How's his character? And hopefully that makes up for a little bit of the not being able to go get eyes on them in another country. And I think so far we've had a pretty good system of that going. We got really good kids here.
Yeah, I'll back you up 100% on that. Now, Coach Green, of course, again, I'm going to say this over and over again. You've been a player, but you did play with International. Is that correct?
I did.
So talk about the uniqueness of learning how to blend just their style, the American style, but also the personalities.
Yeah, the personalities are different, and the playing styles are very different. I think definitely the biggest thing is me and the Mississippi girls, we're very doubles. We like to play doubles because as high school we play doubles or singles or mixed, so we're around that a lot more. And pretty much all of them are mainly singles players. So it's really fun to try and, pull their singles game into a doubles match and pull our doubles experience into, a singles match. And so it's kind of a sharing of ideas, with the international girls helping us play singles and us kind of showing or, giving ideas on doubles. And so when I was playing, Juliana Alves was my partner for 2 years, and we had the best time. And I've really seen that kind of flourish this year with our international girls and our Mississippi girls. Like, their bond has been really fun to see grow over this year, especially. And, we've got Presley Thomas rooming with Melina, international girl with a Mississippi girl. And she, Presley's been here since August. Melina just got here in January. And in one day, they're best friends. That's awesome. And so it's really sweet to see, girls and the guys just kind of latch on to the international players and kind of bring them in. And same way with the international players, not being intimidated by being somewhere they don't even know. So it's been really fun to see and experience their bond off the court and on the court.
Now, whenever I talk to them, one of my favorite things is it's probably the most annoying thing to them is everybody's like, "Oh man, say something." You talk,
yeah.
You talk so different. But I know talking to a few of them, they're like, "That just gets on my nerves when people do that." But that's another unique thing too. And we talked to softball last week, a couple of players there about the team bonding. But that is a hurdle you got to come over. Is whenever it does come to getting them acclimated to the area, to the weather, however it wants to be from one second to the next. But just talk about some of the things y'all do to kind of help them come together as a team.
It's probably something I need to always continue to be improving on. But in my experience, I think the thing that brings them most together is when we take road trips and we're playing other teams. And so trying to have a competitive schedule and opportunities for them to travel. I think in this day and age, it's a little bit less common for kids who are strangers to just start gravitating towards each other and asking to go hang out. But once you've been going to battle with each other and you've been traveling with each other on road trips, I think that does a lot to kind of bring them together. So that's probably been the biggest thing to me is because you want to win for each other, and it kind of gets you in a spot where you are caring about each other and you're trying to help each other out.
Yeah, and this past semester we had lots of holiday team parties together, and so I think that really helped. Just having fun and not really thinking about the tennis aspect of it, because that can be intimidating. But so yeah, we had a few holiday parties. I think the locker rooms have really helped. Before practice, after practice, they stay in there longer, just talking to each other. So yeah, we've made sure that team bonding is at the paramount. But
and I will definitely say that the team party things, that's another one of Maggie's wonderful ideas that Coach Metz would have probably not have thought of. I think us male coaches, we kind of think about practice and what I'm going to do for practice tomorrow. And she's always coming up to me like, what if we do this with the team? And I really appreciated that about her as well. You know, my wife would always have comments about things like that as well. And I just wasn't kind of my in my wheelhouse. And so I saw, you know, once they started doing that, you could tell the kids really enjoyed it. So that was a special thing.
And on a personal note, too, as well, she does a great job with sending photos, videos, saying, hey, is this cool to post on social media, which I appreciate very much. So she does a great job as that. And it's going to show because, you know, we talk about, you know, teams are reflections of leadership. So when you have that leadership of, okay, it's practice time, let's go. But at the same time, hey, I've got coaches that are cool enough to be friends with me, you know, I can't say friend. I'm not saying not friends, but also have that other side away from the game. I think that's really going to be a big part of your success this season.
Absolutely. Players, there's power in it when the player knows that you care about them, not just because they can get a win for you, but that you care about them truly as a person. And so I think that's a really, really important thing. And the other things that also bring us together, especially the internationals, because we are also on the side trying to find them four-year schools to transfer to. And so there's a lot of behind-the-scenes work that goes into that. And so we do want them to know that we love them, not just for their tennis, but for also what they bring to the table with their character and who they are.
And I will say, you know, when I first got here, I was asking all of our international players, like, why did you choose ICC? And everybody's first answer was Coach Metz. Because he just felt like someone they'd known for years. He was nice, he was funny. And so I think that really helps having, you know, a coach that they absolutely 100% knows cares about them. And then also, you know, we know each other long time, huge respect for Coach Metz, would do anything for them. And I think that also shows and that also makes them feel more comfortable.
Are you looking for a place
that creates lifelong friendships?
A place that feels like home.
A place that drives you to new opportunities.
that teaches you skills to improve?
A place that sets the standard.
That challenges you to be better every day.
A place full of opportunity.
We are that place. We are Itawamba Community College, and you belong here.
You're always pushing yourself. There's no time to rest. You keep moving forward. The only thing better than your last accomplishment is your next.
What's next? What's next?
What's next?
So, Allie, what's next?
I guess we'll see.
Find a bank that's as excited about your future as you are. A bank that asks,
what's next?
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
When injury knocks you out, Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. We will get you back.
That's home. That's just like the Ravens. That's just like Pahokee, Florida. That's my second home. I got my degree from there, my first degree, college degree. It's part of my heart, it's part of my soul, it's part of my spirit. And, you know, it's everything. Itawamba Community College, baby, it's everything. It shaped me up to being a great man because it was part of the journey of me becoming the young man I am today. And it's home, man. That's it. Like, I could go there and lay my head down without no problems. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
So let's talk about the tennis season. How is it? It seems like it changes every year to me. It
does.
It does. And I know you and I talked about this over lunch. So what's its format this year? Is it back to the original format that we've always been over, or is it still the first to X?
Yeah, so the original format years ago was, you know, there were 6 singles and 3 doubles, and when you got to the regional tournament, you had your own tournament draw for each one. That is still the format at the national tournament, which will be in South Carolina this year instead of Texas. And there was some voting to go back to that format for this year, but it got voted down, and so we are going to keep it more of the dual match format like they do in Division I. So basically, when the match is called, whenever another team has reached the maximum amount of matches, the referee says match suspended, it's over. You go, and I like it better. We go back to the hotel, get off our feet, eat, and start scouting for the next round that we advance to in the tournament. And I don't think it really throws people a curveball to go to nationals and have your own draw. I think it's almost kind of exciting to do it differently by them. But if we qualified for nationals for men and women and had to do 2 regional tournaments where we were going all week long, you're looking at like a month of nonstop championship matches, and that's a lot on everybody. Yeah. It's a lot on your work and your rest and everything. So
during the regular season, though, say you're going to play all 6 singles, all 3,
all 6 singles, 3 doubles. Whoever wins, in our division, all the doubles are worth a point, all the singles are worth a point. So there's 9 available points for each match. The men's and women's are going to be completely separate. We do have a regular season champion, and then when we do the regional tournament, the top 3 are going to advance to the national tournament. That format has not changed. NJCAA is really the last conference to really keep things true to the way they've been for years, with the exception of just a few rule changes. Division I, Division II, NAIA, they've all gone to a very shortened format to try to get things on TV and speed it up. So I like the old way. That's what I played in. It does take longer, but it's enjoyable, and the kids get a lot out of it.
It does take longer because I remember whenever Coach Johnson and Miss Brenda, we would host the tournaments, and I'd be like, all right, Coach, what time are we going to get out here tomorrow? He's like, well, I'll be out here about 4:30 getting everything ready, and then we'll start playing at 6. And I'm not a morning person. I'm like, well, Coach, I'll get caught up with you whenever I get out there. So, but it won't be for lack of better words, drop dead during the regular season, right?
No, it's not. And honestly, I mean, our battle with Gulf Coast last year, there's people locking up, cramping, and could you imagine if you were doing the all day format, and there were at least 2 players from Gulf Coast that were severely cramping, and so I think the year before there was another player, I think from Jones, that cramped pretty bad and had to have an ambulance. It's hot in Mississippi in the end of the spring, and they get enough. They get more than enough.
So we're talking with Coach Metz and Coach Green about this tennis season coming up. So again, I just want to ask questions that people that may not know tennis very well. So you flight them, flight 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. What's keeping you from sandbagging?
Yeah, it's a good question. I know when I was a college player, the coaches would come up before the match about 15 minutes and give their lineups. And so if somebody thought you were cheating, because you're not really allowed to, if my player is my number 1 player, he can't play number 2. I cannot just strategically put people wherever I want to put them. You have to put them by order of ability. And so the lineups get turned in a little bit earlier when they're doing these things, and that way you have time to protest lineups. If there's a protest to a lineup, we have a committee, usually of about 3 coaches, that'll say, this coach filed a complaint. He's got this guy playing number 3, and he's clearly their number 5, so he's putting the 3 at 5, so they can definitely get a win. And if that gets voted that they broke the rule, then they have to forfeit the matches. So it's a pretty heavy punishment to do that. So you don't see that very much. And honestly, I want to be honest with that. I want my players to play where they're supposed to play, and let's just be see if we're the better player on that day. I don't like gamesmanship and trying to manipulate things to try to get wins.
Coach Green, how do you prepare for a player? I know football, basketball, all the sports you've got film. Do y'all still have film on them, or do you just try to focus on your game and then go attack and that way?
I think the biggest thing for me when I'm trying to tell one of my players like how to approach a game, I know when I was playing, I got real into I got real in my head about it. And I can see a lot of some of our players doing that same thing. So looking at other players, comparing themselves against them and their game, I think the most important thing is let's work on your style of game. Let's focus on how you play and evolve that. And so we've done a pretty good job of doing that. But yeah, we've been filming some of our players and showing them, what we want to work on, and but most of all, just focusing on their style of game and evolving that.
And that's definitely, as technology was down in a conference in Orlando a couple years ago, and they were talking about you you don't realize how much the human eye misses and how much video is becoming so valuable at every level of sports. And so, as you and I have discussed too, just trying to explore more ways for video analysis. The funny thing is these systems that were so expensive, but then there's also more primitive ways that are working just as good. And I was on the phone with a coach the other day, a Division I program where they were using cell phones and just hanging them to the fence, creating a YouTube channel. But a lot of times players will come up and tell you that, A is the problem. But then when they actually see the video, it's like, well, that might have been a little problem, but that's not why we're losing. We're losing because of B and C right here. And so there's so much value in seeing yourself play and being able to get that feedback.
So let's just preview the conference. I know everybody that knows the MACCC conference. It's obviously called the Little SEC, and that's the case in tennis as well. There's so much great competition, and it's fun. Whenever you see you get to that region tournament, you see all the different international personalities. Ooh, and then and then the local personalities, and then when they clash, it's one of those, like, I encourage you guys, if you're a tennis fan, to come out and watch because it's fun.
Yeah, yeah. When I've spoken with coaches who've done this before, there were seasons in the past where you had one or two teams that were very competitive, and then there was like a pretty significant drop off, and so some of these coaches that were really trying to be elite were having to schedule a large amount of out-of-conference matches and going to travel to Florida and Georgia and places to get matches because you want your recruits to get good competition. And I think, we're a close-knit group of coaches. I think they would all agree that we love the way the depth is improving in our conference. Some of the teams had rules in place where they would not admit international players, so they had no chance to compete. Well, that is just becoming less and less to where we could confidently say that there's maybe one or two programs that are still adhering to that, and the rest are all getting these really solid players. And that's good for recruiting. That's good for the conference. It's good for spectators to come and watch and know that they're going to get a good match. It's harder on us because we have to be more prepared and make sure we're developing our players and keeping them healthy. But it is a lot more exciting to watch, I think, than it's ever been.
And a really cool thing about it is you can visit letsgoicc.com, go to the men's and women's tennis page, find that schedule. It's free to get in. So that's another awesome thing there as well. All right, so we're going to wrap it up, kind of give you some final thoughts and encourage fans to come out, support, and how they can support you guys.
Well, through our Indian Club Foundation is always a way to support. The one that means the most to us is watching, coming out and watching. My wife would tell me sometimes, I want you to try to work to explain the scoring format and things a little bit better. So we're trying to come up with some ways that we can do that so the fans, when they come up, can really understand. My experience has been a lot of people think tennis is a certain way, and then when they come out and watch, they end up walking away going, wow, I didn't know they served 115, 120 miles an hour. Yeah. I didn't know that they hit the ball that hard or that they're that athletic. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And we got a lot of good kids that really love ICC and they want to make ICC proud. And we would love for you to come out and support them and just, make them feel appreciated and help out.
And Maggie, give us all your links for social media.
Yes. Let's Go ICC Tennis on Instagram, Twitter. We're always, active. We're posting more. It's a pretty fun page. Our players love it. And so, just follow us and see some pretty great stuff.
Awesome. And I just had a great idea on building off what your wife said. So when we get off the air,
okay,
we're going to talk real quick before I forget.
I'll let her know, and then she'll be off my back about it.
There you go. Well, we do appreciate your time today, and I know it's valuable because you're going to get out and get to practice once again. But we do encourage you to visit letsgoicc.com, find that tennis schedule, and if you're a former player or if you're just interested, you'll see a donate section up top. You can click that and donate to the tennis teams as well. But most importantly, come out, cheer on the Lady Indians and Indians this season. Coaches, anything else before we go?
I don't think so.
That's it.
Roll Tribe.
Roll Tribe. We'll be back with more of the ICC Hour right after this.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
When injury knocks you out, Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. We will get you back.
Enjoy.
Stuffed crust, buttery garlic spread. Little Caesars really stepped it up with their stuffed crazy crust.
They really jazzed it up. Yeah!
They really plussed this crust up.
They really dolled it up.
Everyone out my house. How did y'all even get in here?
The housekeeper gave me a key. Order stuffed crazy crust for $9.49 and get your game day delivered with Little Caesars.
Pizza.
AE drink Sprite? AE drink Sprite.
You want a hoop like Anthony Edwards? Practice. You want a refreshing drink? Obey your thirst. And I tried to tell him, man.
Oh, I know.
Sprite, obey your thirst.
You're always pushing yourself. There's no time to rest. You keep moving forward. The only thing better than your last accomplishment is your next.
What's next? What's next?
What's next?
So, Allie, what's next?
I guess we'll see.
Find a bank that's as excited about your future as you are. A bank that asks,
what's next?
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
Are you looking for a place
that creates lifelong friendships?
A place that feels like home.
A place that drives you to new opportunities.
that teaches you skills to improve?
A place that sets the standard.
That challenges you to be better every day.
A place full of opportunity.
We are that place. We are Itawamba Community College, and you belong here.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming. Yes, today we're very excited. We had a list of guys that we wanted to go after, and we targeted those guys, and we got every guy there on our board that we wanted. We got a lot of guys that played in the Bernard-Blackwell game, because one of the things we went back and looked at from last year, we wanted some champions, guys that have been in the state championship game. So that's what we signed. We signed a lot of guys that played in the state championship and won it. So I'm going to let each coach come up and talk about each guy. The one guy I want to talk about, he means a lot to me. It's my son, Brian. Brian is a kid that played receiver. We're excited to have him. We're going to let him play some tight end, and I look forward to coaching him. He probably don't think different about me once I get him out there. But we happy to have him. And I'm going to let Coach Lucas talk about the defense, and we'll go from there.
Good morning. Coach Justin Lucas. I'm the defense coordinator. I'm going to talk a little bit about the defense, and then I'll let my coaches come up and talk about their specific positions. A little bit about our defense. Last year, we lost a lot of production. You know what I mean? Going by and looking at the numbers, I think we lost 95% of our production from last year. So going into the recruiting season, it was a little nerve-wracking for sure. But I think we're going to be a more athletic team on the outside of the ball. We had our theme was length and speed. We're going back, looking at the overview of the defense. We signed 8 guys that played in Bernard-Blackwell. We signed 8 guys that won with all-state selection. 2 of those guys were the defensive player of the year at their own 8. So we signed some really, really talented kids. I'll talk a little bit about the linebackers. The first kid I was talking about is Jaquez Perry. Jaquez Perry is from Grenada High School. He's going to play like that outside linebacker hybrid guy for us. Highly talented kid. He had every JUCO in the state, and also 2 weeks before signing that, he ended up getting a Division I offer from Nicholls State. So that was a little nerve-wracking, but he's a great player. State championship, coming off a state championship at Grenada High School. Highly productive kid. He led the state in sacks. He had 36 sacks in one season. You know what I mean? So to tell you a little bit about that is, our team led the conference in sacks this year, and we had 30 as a team. He had 36 as a player by himself. So he's going to be a game changer when he comes here. Another kid I want to talk about is Alan Dobbs, inside linebacker for us. He's another kid, was all-state selection, right down the road, local guy, Amory kid. Same thing, he had all the offers. He did mid-season tear his ACL, so it's going to be a recovery thing with him. Hopefully, by the time he gets there, but looking at his timeline, by the time he gets to about August, I think he'll be full go. But he's going to be a kid, once we get him healthy, like he's going to be another game changer type of kid. 6'3", really athletic. Like I said, length and speed is what we're going for. Another kid is Austin Mays, kid from Biggersville. As you've seen, like a lot of our players, we kind of call it a big to Itawamba connection. You know what I mean? We've been able to go into Biggersville the last 2 years and get some of their top players. And Austin's one of them guys coming off state championship. Really thing about Austin is he's a two-sport athlete. You know what I mean? He's a really, really good baseball player. I don't know, potentially he's going to play baseball. I don't know about that one, but we'll see what that comes. But he's another guy that's a hybrid guy for us. Another kid, Sean Jenkins, inside linebacker. He's from Shannon High School. Another kid, he's more of a outside wheel backer, really, really athletic kid, can run, can cover in the pass game really well. So he's another kid that's going to be a great addition for us. Another kid I want to talk about is Quantarius Dawson. Also, Quantarius is here with us right now in the spring. He was a kid from West Point. They coming off state championship. Quantarius won 5A Defensive Player of the Year. Really, really athletic kid. He was one of them all-star kids, and he actually signed with us in December. He's right now going through the spring with us, so he's going to be a great addition to us. The thing is, man, we want to get winners. You know what I mean? I feel like we established a tradition here, so we want guys that know how to win. Another kid I want to talk about, and he's a kid that we signed 4 of his also of his teammates, is B.T. Thomas. He's an outside linebacker, hybrid kid from San Antonio. He has that position versatility, and that's kind of what we're going to see. Like, if you go watch someone, like you watch our guys, a lot of our guys play different positions, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like basketball when it's kind of positionless. Same thing in football, man. Guys got to be able to do a lot of different things now, you know what I mean? Guys just can't be one-dimensional. You know, guys got to be able to run, they got to be able to tackle, they got to be able to cover. Sometimes they have to walk on the line of scrimmage and go rush the passer. Sometimes they got to play off the ball, play man-to-man. So we got to get guys that can do multiple things on the football field. So I think that's all the linebackers I got. I'm going to let Coach Rob come up here and talk about the defensive line.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
When injury knocks you out, Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi will be there for you every step of the way. We are here to get you back in the game, back in motion, back to your life. Our elite team of orthopedic specialists will work side by side with you, educating you about your treatment plan, utilizing advanced technology, and providing you with a successful path to recovery. Orthopedic Institute of North Mississippi. We will get you back.
Good morning. How you doing? Well, Robert Hintz, come up here to talk about the defensive line. So for our first one, we have Seth Kidd. He's from Revere, Alabama, and he's also inside interior defensive tackle, elusive and great with hands, explosive off the ball, also is a playmaker and going to be a game changer for us as well. I have also Michael Fairby from North Panola High School, and he's inside too. He's a nose guard, but he's also explosive, great hands, and moves well off the ball, in and out of the cuts, and also great bend when he get off the ball. We have James Carr, defensive end from North Panola as well, and he's a defensive end. He's going to play more so a 4 or a 5 technique, can be elusive with great being off the end position, can handle double teams, and also a great pass rusher. Then you have Nick Owens from Shannon High School, and he's a great big kid, length and playing physical at his point of attack. Explosive out the ball, can move very, very well. Then we have Sam Travius Elkins, Senatobia High School. So he's a bigger kid, also going to play the nose guard position. He's explosive out the ball, great with hands, good being to him, and also can move very well sideways, lateral, because that's a defensive tackle position. You got to be able to do both, because you can play from the 0 to the 3 technique. Then you also have a tackle position from Oklahoma, Silas Jones. Silas Jones is also a 6'2" kid, more so of a bigger body, but played versatile positions at Oklahoma. He played on the offensive side, he played running back, also played middle linebacker, but we're going to play him as a defensive tackle here at Oklahoma. And our last signee, B. Ross, he's going to play defensive tackle. And he's also Grenada High School championship kid, came back this year, and also played nose guard, because he can be a versatile player, explosive off the ball, great hands, can play 2 different positions for us, and be effective on the defensive line. And Coach Moore, he's becoming a DB.
You gonna put the glasses on?
No glare, only glare on the video. Good morning. Thanks for everybody coming. My name is Kareem Moore. I'm defensive backs and special teams as well. I started off with special teams. I got Rowan Lovehern from Oxford, Mississippi. 2-sport athlete, kicker in football, punter as well. But ran track and is a jumper, long jump, high jump. Very explosive guy. You look at him, you don't see it, but long and wiry. Hopefully he can definitely come in and help us out. Fills Carson shoes from last year. Defensive backs, we have Marcus McKeever from West Point, 2-time state champion. Winners, like Coach said, Bernard Blackwell guy as well. Then next guy would be Dylan Johnson from Baldwin, Mississippi. In-district guy, probably one of the better athletes around here, football and basketball. Won a state championship this year. Definitely a game changer, a guy that we was asking to come in and be one of our greatest players. Landon Richardson, another Bernard Blackwell guy as well from Senatobia, Mississippi. Like Coach said, we ended up getting 4 guys from there. Physical, already is built for college, also has a high football IQ. Definitely waiting to see what he can do and help us out. I know Coach said Quintarius Dawson as well, but he's a DB linebacker, hybrid guy. 2-time state champion, Bernard Blackwell guy. Like Coach said, the theme is if you can get a Bernard Blackwell guy, definitely your team is going in the right direction. Looking for big things from him as well. We got D.D. Wells, state championship runner-up guy, Knoxville County, long, wiry, played DB and receiver, plays a little basketball, baseball down there as well. So definitely a great athlete. Just looking for some guys out in the corner with the length and guys that can run. Next one would be Jamarcus Cathy, sort of in the same boat as D.D. Wells, long, athletic guy, rangy, physical, already college ready as far as his build. Looking for some great things coming from him as well. Taj McBride, he's from Nettleton, Mississippi. He'll play DB, nickel forwards, 2-sport athlete as well. Man, when you see Taj, he doesn't look big, but definitely he plays big. Around about 6 foot, 185, can definitely do it. Jaden Dilworth, gonna play a little corner safety for us as well from Shannon, Mississippi, by way of Nettleton. Just great athlete, speed, football accurate as well, definitely high. Just all those guys were looking to come in and do great things for us, but also we know the type of programs they come from, so just looking forward to it. I think we'll go to the offense now.
You're always pushing yourself. There's no time to rest. You keep moving forward. The only thing better than your last accomplishment is your next.
What's next? What's next?
What's next?
So, Allie, what's next?
I guess we'll see.
Find a bank that's as excited about your future as you are. A bank that asks,
what's next?
Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
They say Diet Coke is a mom's drink. Well, you copied her jeans, her spin, her shoes, her scrunchie, and whether you realize it or not, her music. Now, copy her drink. Drink what your mama gave you.
Hey, honey, could you help me with this? Today tastes like staying in. And it never tasted this good.
We'll go to the offensive side now. We can talk a little bit about the skill position. At quarterback, we brought in some guys that's going to be competing. We got 2 of them already here. We also bring in what we call a +5 guy that's going to be coming in to help out with the program. Also at running back, we returning 2 guys that are already here to play with us. But we did bring some guys that we call a +5, which is in our backyard. He's a local guy. We're excited to have him. We look forward to that. We're going to let Coach Eddie come and talk about the offensive line.
How y'all doing? I'm Coach Eddie Krajewski, offensive line coach. We got 3 offensive linemen that we signed in this class. We got a local kid from Aberdeen, Sumarion McMillan. He's a longer athletic kid, can play both guard and tackle. We see him as a guy who can develop for the future and just bring big things for us. Next guy we signed would be Andrew Owens. He's going to play the interior for us. Looking to probably play some center. He's physical at the point of contact, runs his feet, and finishes every play. And then the last guy we signed would be Camden Selman. He's from Ripley. Bigger guy. Another guy who can probably play both guard and tackle. Physical at the point of contact. And, really just cracking the surface of what his potential could be.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Preston Upshaw. I'm the new receivers coach. I was blessed to walk into a room that was already loaded with talent, bringing back a lot of guys. So I got to be very picky with, the guys that I got to bring in. And, we're bringing in some really great guys to start off with. We're bringing in Trey Garner from Clarksdale. He's an inside receiver. He can do a lot of things well. He's very versatile, explosive, big home run hitter type that can, take a small play and turn it into something big. So we're really excited about getting him on campus. And, part of the room, we also got Chance Bunches. He's my other receiver that we're bringing in. He actually signed with us as basketball, so he's a 2-sport athlete. Very athletic, very explosive. He's 6'5", 200, so he's, very big kid. And can do a lot of things for us. He can be an outside receiver. He can be able to win those one-on-one matchups for us and, be a big playmaker in the red zone. Type guy, and he's dual sport athlete, like I said, and he's a 5-time state champion in high jump, which speaks to his athletic ability. Then we got our tight ends, so we're bringing in Mac McGee from West Point, who is a really great talent. He blocks like a tackle, but he can also make plays out in space like an X receiver. Make a lot of things happen. West Point has got a long tradition of winning, and he's going to bring that in and kind of help develop that winning culture for us as well. So we're really excited about getting him. And then lastly, we have Mason Tucker from Union High School. He's a super tall, big kid that brings a lot of versatility. He can play out wide. He's a kind of a tweener where he can play some receiver when he needs to, but he's going to be that tight end type that can get in there and block and make some stuff happen as well. But he's got great ball skills, can make plays out on the edge, and he got some good speed for the position that we're going to use him in. So we're excited about all these guys, and I'm excited to get a chance to be here with y'all and do this thing, go win some games. Thank you.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
I want to thank all the coaches, and again, guys, one of the things we went into this recruiting class, I wanted to get bigger, stronger, and faster. And we checked off all the boxes. So we're looking forward to getting these guys here this summer. The off season starts Monday, so we'll regroup the rest of the week and we'll start off season. One of the things I do want to invite everybody here is to the spring game, and it'll be April the 24th. We invite y'all to see the guys that we have on campus now. So look forward to seeing y'all at the spring game. And again, Road Tribes, and thank you for coming.
It feels like the deck is stacked against you before you even start your business. What's the difference between someone who fails and someone who succeeds? To succeed, you need an edge. You might invent technology that nobody else can imagine. Maybe you make the perfect product with the perfect fit. But what every successful business has is a bank that is there for them. Instead of saying slow down, a bank that asks, what's next? Renaissance Bank, understanding you.